And we are live. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of House of Tremere. Welcome to our lovely TTRPG stream where we play Vampire the Masquerade 20th edition. And I hope you enjoy the fun and at times chaotic group of Tremere that are currently doing their best to survive um, what could possibly be the end of everything for them, or even a new beginning. We shall have to see how things unfold. But before we get to that, I think it's time for introductions. Why don't we start off with the newly appointed, um, I'd
Agent?
say regent. I was going to say semi-regent. It's not been formalized yet. But let's start off with you, Bob. Why don't you introduce us to Jordy?
Yeah, taking time, Bob here. I do a lot of stuff with this group involving Pendragon and such on my stream. Come check that out whenever you want. And for tonight, I will be playing Geordie, the asshole-ish authoritarian who's now got no one to suck up to. We have to figure that out. So,
Very nice. We'll have to see how that unfolds. Next up, Emily. Why don't you give us an introduction to Kess?
I am Emily. I play Kess, who doesn't know how in God's name we got here.
Fair enough.
He doesn't
I'm
have a
sure.
title, so.
I guess that is true. You don't have a title yet. We shall have to see if that changes. Next up, Ree. Why don't you give us an introduction to Maruna?
Hi guys, I'm Ree. I play Maruna. She sees a lot of stuff, she feels a lot of stuff. And a lot of stuff's going wrong, and it's proving a lot of her worst fears. We'll see how this goes. She also doesn't have a formal title, but she does do the gardening. Hopefully that
true.
gets better. We have a regent again, but I don't know. The
Only
pyramid's
one
still
way to find
falling.
out. Yeah, the pyramid's still falling. uh, with that, up next, someone who doesn't believe the pyramid is falling. Zach, why don't you introduce us to Hasib?
Yes, hello, I'm Zach. I'll be playing the little guy known as Hasib. He's young, entirely too optimistic and naive. He's basically a student apprentice who's obsessed with learning and asking obnoxious questions. And like Mark said, he's currently surrounding himself with a little comforting delusion that this horrible situation we're in is all just a test by the pyramid, and we need to ace it. So let's go team, and let's get out the notebooks and start jotting things down so we can pass all the questions.
It's a good point. Gotta make sure you pass every question. Don't want to fail any of them.
No.
Uh, and last, but certainly not least, dear Doctor, Cyberbro, why don't you introduce us to Dr. Quangle?
All right. I am Cyberbro. You may know me from Bob Streams. I've been in a couple of his games. Um, a truth about me, Cyberbro, is that I'm disturbed by the musical Cats. But Dr. Quango, whom I play on this stream, is not disturbed by musicals because they're just fanciful things you watch.
Uh, has Dr. Quangle seen Cats? I think that's a question we
Yes,
need to answer.
yes, the good doctor saw Cats on Broadway, front row seats.
Very nice. Fanciful. And I am your storyteller for tonight's events. I am Mark, aka the CatsMeow, and I hope you are ready for what is probably going to be a night of chaos. Either that or a very long conversation between the players. We'll find out. I'm sure I'll find a way to spice up anything that tends to happen. I think with that, does anybody want to start us off with a recap of the previous episode?
I can't do it again because then I'm setting a precedent. So.
I can try, but I don't know how together my whole thoughts are. So it may be a little all over the place. So the pyramid fell. We all were in a room covered in blood. Jordy went and took some time to process that whole situation. The doctor put the hand in some embalming fluid. Hasib started to try and put the pieces of our old regent in a pile. Was then told to leave the room. And Maruna would finish it. Maruna did actually try and finish it. Kes told her, please just leave. You're not doing anything. So Hasib then went and was trying to find a shop vac to fix the regent in pieces problem. Then came back with paper and decided this was a test and told Maruna about it once Maruna found him. Jordy was having a little bit of a very, very sad moment because our regent was gone. Quangle found him and essentially said, pull it together. Kess rifled through all of the regent stuff immediately upon everybody leaving the room, and found lots of things and stuff, including a book that said how to assign a new regent. None of the rooms were correct. The doors led to places we were not aware, like not correct places as far as we knew. So we as a group went down after a couple attempts to the basement to try and locate the center of the chantry so that we could assign a new regent and get everything to rights again. The issue is that we then found the dungeon where our the person in charge of our security was a pile of ash, and the ghouls with her were in pieces. We did find our lovely gargoyle friend down there who told us about a being called the Unbowed who was imprisoned down there and now was out and had been out. So we have to deal with that problem. We found the center of the chantry. Jordy stuck his hand in it to assign magical authority over it. Got hurt initially, so Kess stuck his hand in a wildly great choice. They both went through a kind of trial of imposing their own will onto the chantry. Jordy did it. So Jordy was able to put the chantry to rights, and is now the de facto the regent at this point, and has set everything to basically rights. Please fill in anything I didn't think of. Everybody else.
It's pretty thorough.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
With that, Emily, you can have 1 extra point of temporary willpower.
Thank you.
No problem.
But then I will add that Dr. Quangle totally talked Jordy into sticking his hand in it in the first place, because he was not going to.
That's true.
Nope, wasn't going to.
Yeah, Kess was only there as kind of a guide.
Right then. I think with that, we can begin. As we focus in. Actually, let's set up some music for us. It's a little quiet. It's a little quiet. As we focus in on a radio within the quartermaster's storeroom. we hear it start to sputter to life. Let's actually a little. There we go. As we hear it sputter to life, and we hear a jingle begin to play. Much better. You're listening to New Angle's Rock Authority, WNAG 97.7, counting down the hits of the 90s as we count down to the end. Alright, my night crawlers, my doom crawlers before it was cool, my millennial malcontents. This is Caligula, still here counting down the greatest hits of the decade as we march towards the unknown. Just 199 days until the world as we know it either keeps spinning or falls apart like a cheap cassette left in the sun too long. And you better believe I'll be here to see how it all shakes out. Speaking of which, we got ourselves a caller on the line. Let's see what's up, shall we? You're on Caligula's Countdown. Who's this? Hey, this is Mike. I'm over here working the graveyard shift at Data Core IT Solutions. And I just wanted to say, all this Y2K paranoia, it's a joke, man. You got people out here stockpiling like it's the end times, but the truth? Nothing's gonna happen. It's all hype. A big nothing burger. Oh, we got ourselves a skeptic. Tell me, Mike, you're working in IT, right? Sitting in a cold little room full of old servers and half-dead coffee? Are you absolutely, without a doubt, think these crusty old corporate systems are just gonna handle a 4-digit date change without a hiccup? Because I don't know, man. I keep hearing things. Rumors. Whispers. Maybe even signs of a government cover-up. Cover-up. Man, the only thing getting covered up is how much money the companies are making off this fake crisis. You think IBM's crying over this? Nah. They're selling Y2K-proof software to every paranoid CEO and asshole who thinks their fax machine's going to explode. Meanwhile, you're out here winding up every doomsday prepper in New Angleham like they're waiting for the second coming of Elvis. Oh, Mike, my sweet little naive button masher. You sound so sure. Almost like you know something the rest of us don't. Like you're sitting there, all alone in your sad little office, staring at a screen full of code you don't understand, praying that on January 1st, your company doesn't have to explain why their files are just a row of question marks. You sure no one's watching you right now? You sure your systems are all secure? Because you know what's really scary about computers? It's not the programs. It's who else might be there in there with you. Wow. You really live for this, don't you? Keep it up, buddy. One day when January 1st roll around, and literally nothing happens, you'll be the guy on air trying to spin it like it was a close call, like we barely made it or something. Whatever keeps your little cult of paranoia turning in, right? I mean, let's be real. You don't actually believe any of this. You're just a boop, boop, boop. Ooh, looks like we lost Mike. Such a shame. Always happens right when they're about to say something interesting. Almost makes you wonder. Are we listening to them? Or is somebody listening to us? Anyway, let's reset the mood, people. Mike, if you're out there, this one's for you. And for all my late-night lurkers, my insomniacs, my shadow dwellers, sit back, close your eyes, and enjoy the silence. Cue the unmistakable synth opening of Depeche Mode's Enjoy the Silence. We hear a last final amused breath from Caligula before he fades out completely. And that was actually very well timed. As we return to the storehouse, where we see our collection of vampires circling around together with their the addition of their quartermaster. I think with that, would you guys like to describe if you're doing anything in particular while you crowd into the storehouse?
I think there's a briefcase. Because I believe we're going to get weapons to deal with the unbowed. There's a briefcase that Quengo waits for the quartermaster to give him with his weapon of choice. The briefcase requires a key. Quengo will produce the key from underneath his shirt. Click it in, open said briefcase, and inside you would see just a scalpel. Quango hesitates to pick it up, and then he picks it up and tucks it right into maybe his breast pocket or something like that, just right there. Closes the briefcase and returns it.
If people, or go ahead.
She's just kind of walking around looking for options, anything she could use potentially. She doesn't really normally use weapons, so surveying.
Yeah, Hasib's in much of the same way. He looks lost, but very curious as he's going around, probably asking people's like, "Oh, so what one are you are looking at? I was not looking at that one. Go ahead. I this looks sharp. Too sharp. I will cut myself. I'm pretty sure."
I would say you would find a collection of small caliber weapons, pistols, and maybe a few hunting rifles. There's also a number of different melee weapons, from baseball bats to a single large sword that at its handle has engraved into it the symbol of the Tremere.
What is it that what is sorry, I'm losing track of the character names all of a sudden. What is Hasib looking at right now?
Hasib probably passed by the sword, which is so ungainly for Hasib. Like, it would not work at all. But he's like curious about it. He's like tapping the symbol on it and looking at its blade. But that's where he's at currently.
Okay, I think Jordy is currently at one of the pistols. He has it in his hand and he's checking it, making sure that it's that he has the ammo ready, kind of inspecting the weapon overall, and then he. I'm assuming that we have a holster or something that he can put it in. If not, he'll find a way. But yeah, he looks like looks proficient enough with it. Doesn't look super foreign as he puts it away.
Hess has collected whatever knives he finds. He probably grabs a couple, puts them in pockets, and then proceeds to pull out a box of cigarettes, light one, hand it to the quartermaster, and then light another, and smokes it himself and just waits for everybody else. Just leans on a table and waits.
Are there any is there any armor, like gear that is more geared for defensive purposes in here? I know there's probably not like a suit of plate mail or something, but do we have a riot shield? Do we have like something that could be used as a shield?
Not with 2 points in stores. You
can
don't have
see-
anything more specialized. It's a very general kind of stuff.
A good point was brought up, but this won't be bloody because it's a gargoyle. I assume made out of stone, but it could be a flesh gargoyle. Who knows? Yeah.
Gargoyles typically have a stony-like exterior. It's tougher than normal flesh, but not that much when you compare it to like vampiric flesh. Vampiric flesh itself is naturally stronger. It's about on
Okay.
par. You can make an intelligence occult if you would like for more information.
You know what? I'm going to do that. So that's going to be enroll dice.
This will be difficulty. Actually, considering your specialty, this will be difficulty 7.
Oh, specialization surgery. So should I put click yes on the specialization or?
No, not your actual specialization, but more what you're usually involved with in matters of the chantry.
Okay. Oh wow.
5 successes. Yeah, from what you know, the gargoyles have access to disciplines such as fortitude, which makes them much tougher than most vampires. They also have access to potence, which makes them very strong. They also have access to a special ability called Visiateca, which allows them to do some strange things, such as disappear into stone, hide themselves in buildings or around kind of like a natural chameleon kind of like skin. There's also the ability to essentially connect themselves and listen to stoneworks or buildings to know what's inside them, what's around them, how to navigate them. They are exceptionally useful when it comes to defending a chantry for that very reason. They know if there's an intruder, they know where people are, and they're very good at moving unseen. As for weaknesses, they are specifically weak to mind-affecting abilities like Dominate. It makes them easier to control, to bind. Yeah.
Okay. I will. Quinkle reveals that information to the group. He takes the scalpel out. He returns it to the briefcase, puts the briefcase back, and probably reaches for like I'm really sorry. Reaches for a medical bag. 'Cause I would assume he would have this given the time period and being a surgeon, but it's just those large rubber gloves that you like see butchers or like older surgeons wear, and he starts putting that on as he's revealing everything to the group. They have fortitude and potent as abilities, and Visiteca. They can walk into the stone and hear, but they're weak to dominate. Puts on just an old school surgeon's outfit. Whatever to the viewers at home, whatever is just a disturbing vision of a surgeon. He looks just like that. Rubber apron that goes all the way down to his ankles. He just gets in this full get up. And Mr. Storyteller, can I have a bone saw?
Absolutely.
Yay! Yeah, and so he pulls out a bone saw with a Q on the blade, and then puts on like a mask and like the scrubs, like hat, like Quangle's in his full surgeon regalia. Prepare yourselves.
At this point, the quartermaster would interrupt as he takes a drag from his cigarette. So do we actually have a plan here? Or are we just gonna stumble about till we find what we're looking for? Because by the sounds of what you just said, that's gonna be very difficult.
I can see if I can see anything.
What the fuck does
I
that mean?
think she'll turn on heightened senses.
Alright.
I don't think I have to.
You can roll me a perception and awareness if you would like.
Okay.
And you can. The difficulty would be 8, but you can lower it by equal to the number of dots you have in Auspex.
Okay.
And question mark, something we should probably do is how much blood do we have? Are we starving?
Oh, that's a good point.
And
Why don't you all roll me a d10?
oh, good.
Zach, we're either gonna be great or bad.
I mean, I have some herd, so I don't know if that'll affect it, but
If you have herd, you can add the number of points you have in herd and have that be your total amount of blood for the moment. I'll also say, because you guys are in the chantry, you can add 5 to this.
Oh boy. I got a 14.
Alright, and
And,
you have 14 points of blood, or up to your maximum, depending on where your maximum is.
and as far as willpower, do we get that back every session, like 1 point or something?
Only by playing towards your archetype, either your nature or demeanor. You can request a point of willpower for playing towards it.
All
Working
right.
it out.
So
If you'd like one for the previous session, just let me know what it was for, and I'll either approve or not approve.
gotcha.
Alright then.
What
So
was
take
it?
the number
Did
you
you say-
roll. Go ahead.
Perception and awareness, was that what you said?
Perception and awareness, yes.
So just sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just to clarify, Quangle said that the gargoyle is the one that can go into walls and knows where people are, right?
Correct.
And we have him with us.
You have a gargoyle with you, yes.
Kess turns his head to the gargoyle and goes, "Where is the Unbound now?"
He focuses. Maruna, as you are focusing upon your senses, you don't detect any presences that shouldn't be here. Everything feels like it's in place in this room. Do not believe you are being spied on, at least by someone you can't see. And the gargoyle places his hand onto the ground, focusing before looking up, as he says, "I do not sense his presence. It means he is either disguising it, or he has escaped." No, he wouldn't say he would say it. That's all. That's my mistake.
Then we'll go room to room until we secure the perimeter. Gargoyle, you'll be the one in the front.
He nods as he begins to turn and make his way out.
Is it possible to lock our doors as we go through, so he may not pass behind us or something? Actually, are there keyholes to the doors that we have through the chantry? Do they lock in a way?
The only one who can lock the doors, is whoever has control of the chantry.
Do we know that?
I have the
Presumably.
Do
book.
we know?
You have the book, so I'd assume so. Also, you've worked alongside the Regent for a long time. You would know that he has the
Okay.
ability to do that.
We can lock the door.
Jordy, you're in control of the chantry. Surely you can expel this thing from the wall.
Not that I'm aware of.
So perhaps each room we go into, we lock the one that goes to the outside so it can't escape, right? And then we go into the room, we can lock the door so that it can't run even if we confront it. I think we have enough people, right? And
We'll have to fix the outside lock.
right, yes.
We used to have a person for that.
Perhaps if she did her job.
Jordy. Too soon.
I mean, she's dead, so I don't think she'd care very much.
I think that's what's to blame for anything that's gone wrong here.
Well,
Well,
let us go out and hunt down this gargoyle. This unbound.
I think
Very well.
Maruna will probably pick up a knife of some kind and then also a pistol or whatever light looking gun. She doesn't really know that well how to use, but she'll just grab it in case.
Hasib takes he finalizes on the baseball bat because he's played t-ball before.
I believe
And-
if we can expose his flesh, that I should be able to do things.
You said
it-
that oh, sorry.
No, please continue. I'm just pondering various methods that I could use against this unbound.
You said that like something like dominate type of abilities would have. What about other mental abilities?
Potentially. As far as I understand this, it is weak to dominate, as you just stated. But it's worth a try. However, its name is the Unbowed. Therefore, I think it's within reason that whatever dominate ability or mental ability we use on it must be fairly potent. Such is the way of free creatures.
All right.
And I could be in the, if we're going as a group, I can stay in the back, and there I could keep myself scarce. I can do that, and if he doesn't see me, if he tries sneaking up on us, I should be able, hopefully, to see him first.
Ah, yes, the hidden blade. Yes, Hasib will be the hidden blade.
Yeah, Hasib smiles, but then he quirks his head. I have a bat though, so a hidden
Hidden
bat.
Bat. Yes.
Okay, yes, all right, we're going to ace this part.
We're all going together then?
Everyone together. Jordy's gonna look around too and make sure everyone has a weapon. He's gonna do like an inspection walk across them, just verifying everyone has a weapon.
Don't touch the bone saw, Jordy. It's very sharp.
All right then. On to the next room.
Aruna will start walking.
Hasib will stick to the back, and as the crew goes out, he will use Obfuscate 2 to slip into the shadows and watch our back.
All right.
I think I can leave heightened senses up, correct?
Yes, it's generally on by default unless you choose to.
Cool. Oh,
subsume.
okay. Got it. Okay.
Alright then. With that, you
And-
guys are free to move around the chantry as you would like. This is your gargoyle friend. This is...
I'm still on the splash page.
Alright. I probably didn't move things over like I was supposed to. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I
I
see
did.
Yeah, we're here. I see
Yeah.
it. Hasib's also
There, I
going to
fixed
use
it.
heightened senses, by the way, because you need that for seeing this stuff.
Yep.
Are there any in the room that we're the next room over that we're going into? Are there any plants, or are they exclusively in the one hallway?
There would be plants in this hallway as well. They're kind of littered around the chantry.
I am gonna ask the plants if they've seen the unbowed.
Sure. Before you do that, everyone, I need you to roll me a d10.
Cool.
Double
Alright.
fours.
Very well. Make your roll to attempt to speak with the plants.
Gonna be intelligence plus occult.
Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis.
Six successes.
Yeah, that
Is
means
it meant to be difficulty 2?
no. It should be difficulty. Wait, let me see. I think 5. So that's not gonna be 6 successes. That's
4 successes.
um. And that would mean a detailed response to one or more complex questions.
Alright. What is your question?
Where have you seen the unbowed? Where did you last see him? She would give a description as well of from what they know.
Okay. So the description you were given.
Mhm.
Alright. Plants
Do you know where he
respond.
is?
They have seen the figure you describe. They came through not long ago.
Which way?
They point the direction And this direction would be leading you towards the direction towards the library.
Okay. She'll say, thank you. And she's gonna point towards the library and just say, he went this way. He was here not long ago.
And you know this how,
The plants.
Miss Maruno?
The plants saw him.
Mark, how far out of the way is the library from where we were heading? Just for the purpose of the character.
Roll me a d10, tell me high or low.
High, a 10.
Alright, let me rephrase that. Roll it again and tell me high or low before you roll. Sorry, it's on me.
Low.
Okay.
And I got a 3.
So it's not actually that far out of the way. It's in the similar direction you were going. It's probably a little further than you would have liked, but it's pretty much the same direction.
And we will go that way. We were heading that way anyways, but we will inspect the rooms upon the way. One by one.
Should someone go ahead just in case we might miss him if he went that way recently? We'd be wasting time.
I am happy to stand guard if you would like, to ensure they do not slip past.
Yes, very good.
Thank you.
Bows.
I will go with the gargoyle, as the library is my domain, and I would prefer that the Unbowed just not ruin my books.
Dr. Quangle, we will arrive there eventually. We move as one.
Is that an order?
It is.
Then I shall go ahead if it is your desire, my masters.
Make
Thank
it so.
you.
He begins to move forward, and as he does, you watch as his skin begin to shift from the stony veneer to a perfect reflection of what is behind him, or what is in front of him from your perspective.
If you're okay with it, Mark, I believe we should probably note that we locked the quartermaster's storeroom before we left.
That works.
He's already dead. Like, oh no!
I thought he was with us. Did he not come with?
The quartermaster is. The quartermaster stays inside the locked room.
Okay.
Because he does not want to be involved.
That's fair, honestly.
Yeah. Not being involved is an option. Like,
With that,
Wait
you
a
guys may move your way to the library. Also, as the regent of the chantry, Geordie, you can choose to move any of these rooms and swap it with another room. Alternatively, you can move it to a space where there is a blank.
I see. All right, so am I reading this correctly that, like, the rooms connected are the ones actually connected to this room right now? Left,
Correct.
right, and lower?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we will go down first. We're not going to try moving anything quite yet. I don't think he really knows what he's doing there yet.
Also, feel free to move your own tokens around the map as you like.
Jordy will lead down to here.
Actually, in fact, let's add some more things to like show which doors are open and which ones are locked. This one is open. Goes down to here. Goes to here. You can also create doors where there aren't currently. Also, I'm getting some feedback. And
Is this one also an arrow? I just want to make
Yes.
sure. It is, right?
no,
Yeah.
it is, yeah. Oh,
I get to be Maruna now. All right, here we
lost
go.
me for a moment.
Where them plants at? We going? Ah, I'm Hasib.
I'm deceived.
All right. That should
Mine
show
looks
where
messed
things
up.
are.
Kess turned into a gargoyle. Oh, okay.
Yeah, my camera did a weird thing when that happened. I looked like I was like grayed out.
I think Ria's having some internet troubles.
I love that
Indeed.
Jordy's been in the region for 30 minutes and he's already talking down to us. 30 minutes. Having a
I don't know
breakdown.
what you expected, man.
It's
Yeah.
30 minutes
Nah.
more than you were at Regent. I would just like to point out.
All right, you all good? Ree, you back? All right,
Yep, I'm back.
perfect. With that, you guys can continue on your journey.
Okay. So when we go in this room, I think we don't just walk through it; we kind of inspect it, right? Like,
Yeah.
So I think the way that looks for Jordy is he's kind of walking with his arms to his side, just kind of observing the area, and he looks at everyone and says, "Shall we name this room all clear?"
Yes.
Hasib in Obfuscate is doing his own methodology, which is holding out a bat and just sort of waving it where people aren't, because maybe he'll tap into the unbowed and introduce himself.
We just see a lamp shatter.
First of all, for Hasib, how many points of obfuscate do you have?
He has 2.
And Maruna, how many points of Auspex do you have? Maruna, how many points of Auspex do you have?
2.
Alright.
Also, I don't know if it matters, but insight.
Ah, yes. Well, in this case, specifically, unless Hasib is trying to stay hidden from you, you could pierce his obfuscate, because you have enough prospects to do so.
I mean, if it's Hasib isn't intentionally trying to hide from his allies and friends and buddies, but I don't know how the power exactly works. If he can make it selective, I mean, it is like a mind trick, but
Yeah. I'll leave it to you for now. If you could choose if you'd like to stay hidden or not.
he'll stay visible to his friends. He's trying to hide and stay hidden from enemies. So anyone not in the search party, basically.
Quangle will say, "Watch it with the bat" a few times. You see it may get too close. He's like, "No, stop it. Careful."
He could be right next to you. And Hasib kind of whispers, not trying not to break his. He could be right next to you. I had to make sure I do your outline here. I just right through the legs and then around the hips and.
Maruna's just gonna kind of put her hands out. Do this. All clear. All clear.
As they're doing this, Jordy's actually going to walk to 2 separate doors. This one and this one.
Alright.
So my right and my south, and I'm gonna have him lock both.
All right.
I had to step away really fast. My dog got her hands on her paws on one of my socks.
All good.
Oh no.
Dogs.
I thought it was gonna be a banana.
Yeah, exactly. She wanted that banana peel really bad. She wanted, tried to jump for it.
All right. I will also note the one you're in currently, the foyer, is the building that leads to the exit.
Sorry, what was the last piece on that?
The foyer is the area that leads to the exit. So this is basically the entry and exit to the chantry. This room right here.
Understood.
Does the door with the broken lock seem more broken than before, by chance?
Perception investigation? Standard diff for those who would like to attempt.
Yeah.
For those of you who have Auspex, remember you can lower the difficulty as it is a perception roll.
And you just lower it by how many dots you have in it?
Correct.
Okay. What is the difficulty?
Standard difficulty, so 6.
I think Jordy will stand back on this one.
All right.
And Seeb has a specialty in perception of keen eye, so anything with sight, which I guess is the door.
Yep. You didn't roll any 10s.
Yeah, it don't matter.
All good. Well, Kess got 7 successes.
Yeah.
Kess, as far as you can tell, the door that you're looking at currently is fine. It has not been broken down, and the other door that is through it, that is actually the outside door, the lock is still broken. It hasn't been broken any more than it currently is.
Alrighty. He'll just kind of mutter when he walks past Jordy, the door's fine, and go back to the rest of the group and continue smoking a cigarette and generally looking unamused.
Also, pretty much all of you except Dr. Glanville can see the shifting skin or stone skin from your gargoyle, who just seems to be waiting in the room, defending it, ready to pounce.
Mark, quick question for you. Based on my previous role, would I know if gargoyles have to breathe or not?
They're vampires, they don't need to breathe.
The vampires don't need to breathe? Okay, gotcha.
Is the door locked? So there's a door that leads to the outside door. Is that one locked?
That one is.
Okay. All right. I think then if we've cleared this room, Jordy will say, "Cleared," and we'll continue on to the next room, which is to our left.
Alright, then move to the room. Alright, then. As you enter into the large hallway that has a number of doors, that would normally be used as a center point between entering other rooms. You can see the door that opens up to the library. The door is open. And the door that opens up into the Regent's office is also open.
Jordy, you left your office door open. You shouldn't do that.
Do I remember if we left it open?
I was
You
the
guys
last
did.
one out.
Yeah, weren't we in the regent's office, or were we in my
You're in the regent's office.
and we did leave it open?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
the door to your
Just making
office you also left open so that you didn't lose it in the changing.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense. He looks at the library door but looks at the other door wide open. Let's secure the office. It's smaller. Keep eyes on the library. Who wants to volunteer to be our sight on the library door? Very well, Miss Maruna. And with that, he'll step forward into the office.
All right. You can move yourself forward. And those of you that go into the office, you can do the same. As you step in, the office is very much as you left it, covered in blood and papers, and the what is now the kind of ashes of what remained of the regent. His body completely decomposed by this point, leaving behind what looked to be broken pieces of bone among the ashes. The blood itself has also dried remarkably quickly as it stains the carpet.
Anything else out of place?
Perception, alertness, difficulty 9.
Should we all roll that?
Those of you in the room may.
And I think out in the hall, I think Maruna's gonna take a step into the library.
All right. We will cut to Maruna in a moment.
For heightened senses, do I take down the difficulty still?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything that's perception based, you may do so.
No successes from Quangle.
You do not count ones in this case, so Kess got a 1. 1 success. To most of you, everything seems fine. To Hasib, you notice there seems to be some of the papers that were around are missing, or don't seem to be in the place they were when you were here last.
Hasib. He kind of gasps. The Unbowed. He took documents. I remember seeing some here and right here. You see how the drawer is slightly open. He ransacked. It ransacked.
I have a question, ST.
I think the answer is yes.
Okay. He doesn't say anything, but I just need a clarification as a player.
No,
I
you
may have
absolutely
been the Unbound.
ransacked. Yeah, you may have been the one
Yeah.
that ransacked this office.
Oops. No. Okay. Cass doesn't say anything.
Is there any warn signs of like when someone's like nervous or changes demeanor because they're guilty for something? Is there any of that vibe going on?
Would Geordie be suspicious of his fellow Tremere?
Of his subordinate Tremere.
Of his
absolutely.
subordinate Tremere?
Wow.
Specifically.
My question
No,
still
but-
stands.
Yeah.
Maybe...
I don't think he's terribly good at it, but I think
Yeah.
he's generally in the role of drill sergeant a lot of time.
Perception, empathy. Difficulty 8, we'll say.
Do I have to roll anything?
Those of you who are trying to keep composure, it'll probably be a manipulation and subterfuge. Alternatively, manipulation expression. Alternatively, charisma expression.
Okay.
Especially for any of you that are trying to hide something or are feeling off. Actually, it may not matter. Botches don't count, so it's just a 0.
I want to roll.
I put 8 in. That's weird.
What is the difficulty for if I'm rolling?
Difficulty of probably be 8. Actually, no, it'd be standard actually. So it's 6.
7. 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Your accent got me for a second, Mark. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Wow, that's bad for me. But, you know.
There's 2 successes. Yeah, Jordy, you don't get the feeling that like any of them are being suspicious or off. And Kess, you keep your chill.
Very well then. Is there any sign of it here?
Perception, awareness, or alertness. Your choice. This will be difficulty 8.
Oh.
Okay, proceed with 4 successes. Nothing seems to be out of place. Other than what you found. There doesn't seem to be anyone hiding or anything.
Hasib will squint, looking around, waving the baseball bats for good measure. I don't believe so, but it is concerning. The unbound must be, well, taking documents. This one is intelligence, quite intelligent then. This is worrisome.
But no sign of it active. He looks around at everybody. No recent activity. No sign of it being here. Then we move on. We'll lock the door on our way. Mark, this is just one door for this room, right?
Yep. There's only one door for this.
And Jordy will start his way out again. Once everyone's out,
Meanwhile-
we'll lock the door.
Yeah. We cut to Maruna as Maruna steps into the library. As you do, Maruna, you can see a figure in the corner. Large, stony skin with what looks to be 2 large, almost angelic wings that extends from its back. You see it hunched over on the ground. Make a perception and alertness roll. Standard diff.
But because it's perception, I can.
You could lower it.
Yeah. You said alertness, right?
Right. You can see that the figure is almost cowering as it is crouched over, holding itself. You can see what looks to be large gashes in its skin and the unmistakable sign of blood that seems to be welling to where the wound is.
Okay. I would like to use awe
All right.
And I'm wondering if I could make an argument, because I know it says charisma performance, but I'm wondering if I could make an argument to try to use empathy or leadership instead, based on the approach that I plan to take. It's fine if not, but
I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say no in this case because of how the power
Okay.
works specifically.
it's fine. I will do it anyway.
Two successes. And remind me what that power does.
It makes those near the vampire suddenly desire to be closer to her and become receptive to her point of view. It is extremely useful for mass communication. It matters little what is said. The hearts of those affected lean towards the vampire's opinion.
All right.
And it can affect 2 people, because I got 2 successes, but there's really only 1 person I'm trying to affect, so it doesn't matter too much.
So
yeah.
you watch as the figure turns its head and then begins to shift and stand up. You watch as it stands a full 8 feet tall. You see from its back large stone wings that kind of extend outwards for backwards before fading back down behind it. You see what looks to be 2 large horns extend from its head. Its face has been carved into a beautiful appearance, but with a look of anguish on its face, a look of pain. You see down its large stone chiseled androgynous chest, large gash marks in its side and in its front that looks as if something has carved deep into it, enough that you can see flesh and sinew below it and a bit of blood that wells to the surface where the wound is, as if trying to close it up. It looks to you with its stony eyes. Continue, sir.
You're hurt. I don't want to hurt you. They call you the Unbowed. Right?
I know not what you speak of. I have no name. Have had no name. Pain, it reaches to its chest. Hunger. Wounds. Not enough.
What do you want? What are you looking for? I'd like to help you.
Sustenance. To heal wound.
You need to eat.
Stony head moves, nodding as you hear the sound of stone rubbing against stone.
Would I have any sense of what gargoyle? Do they eat the same as vampires? Would I have...
Blood.
Yep. She is gonna take the knife that she grabbed, and she's gonna cut her hand and offer it the blood.
It slowly moves forward, like a wounded animal, not sure whether to trust you. Until
And
it is
she will
eventually
just
standing, towering above you.
kind of, yeah, she will just offer out her hand. And say, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like to feel like you can't trust anyone.
Its hands come out, lightly wrapping around your arm, as it slowly reaches down its neck and begins to taste of the blood. How many points of blood are you giving this this creature?
Let's see. What do I have? Where am I at? I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye, because I'm not going to go to the point where I'm severely hurt, but I want to give it enough to heal a bit.
Alright.
So I guess... I don't know why I'm struggling to find blood stuff on my character sheet.
I think it's all the
Fine.
X's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Bottom center.
A base like 5 for any vampire would probably sustain them pretty well. If you're looking for some basic metrics.
Okay. Bottom center X's.
I
say-
need to actually put in your blood. Didn't think it's on your
okay.
sheet.
That would do it.
What did you roll before? 6 plus 5. You're at your full blood.
Okay.
You have 10
cool.
points of blood.
Great. I'll give 3.
Alright. He takes the blood, drinking from you, as you watch the wounds on his body begin to heal over, closing mystically, until it looks as if they weren't there to begin with. It's at this point, the rest of you arrive to see Maruna standing with her arm out while this large, beautiful statue-like creature is drinking her blood.
Mark, is there any blood on my library floor?
Probably not, actually.
Oh, okay. Good. Great job, Maruna. You found it.
Yes.
Jordy has his gun trained on it right now.
She's just gonna turn and just put her hand out. It's okay. He's not gonna hurt us.
Do we know why it was called the Unbowed? Jordy asks.
So-
Surely the regent would know.
The former regent, perhaps.
You watch as it releases its grip on Maruna and stands up tall, looking over all of you. I know not what you mean.
I'm gonna look to the other gargoyle, and
The other gargoyle is
Please.
not here.
oh. I believe we've been hoodwinked.
Hasib will drop his obfuscate and raise a hand and say, Are you not the one who was in the dungeon with the where Karine was the head of security?"
Karine. I know of her. No, I was not in the dungeon. Think. Things are foggy. All I remember is being attacked by a stone monster.
Did it have wings? This stone monster have wings about this tall? He like tries to get his hand real
His
high.
head nod. A more precise description of the other gargoyle is that he had a dog-like face.
Right, the dog, a face with he had wings and dog-like face.
He watches,
this
he
the stone?
nods. The stone hound.
Oh,
Did he attack Kareem?
I don't remember.
You don't remember anything.
It shakes its head.
Do you know how long you've been here?
No. It
Do you
seems to
know-
look around as if acknowledging its surroundings for the first time. Where are we?
One other.
Oh, please continue. Sorry.
Who are you?
I don't remember. I have no name.
Quengo gets frustrated. Your name is Michael. Now you have a name. Now, Michael. The other gargoyle, was it disgruntled?
I don't understand.
Was the other gargoyle not happy with this lot, skulking about in the walls and whatnot?
I do not know. I only know of that it attacked me and did this as it touches towards its chest where the wounds were. Or the wounds are slowly closing over.
Can we do some insight checks, because we might be
Perception, empathy.
at a
Perception, empathy. Difficulty 7 because his features are stone.
We left Canham in the foyer, though. Yes, like
Yep,
that's where
he's in the
the
foyer.
token is.
Yep.
With the only room unlocked being the way we came.
Yep. Correct.
This is a
What's the
perception
difficulty?
Difficulty 7 because his face is stone.
So perception, empathy, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you said difficulty is
7
6. 7.
Seven. Yeah.
This is why I'm not
Wait.
tired.
minus your aspects, because perception.
All right. 1 success. 2 successes. 2 successes. 2 successes. Oh, Maruna got 5 successes actually. And then 1 success from Chaos. Alright, for you, Maruna, as you look upon him, you don't think this creature is aware enough to lie to you. It seems to be honest. It seems to be almost innocent in its understanding of things. It's confused, it's scared. More like an animal than a person. Or a child, perhaps.
Not lying. I don't think he could, even if he wanted to.
Well, this changes nothing. We will
Perception
Use-
alertness.
I don't think-
difficulty 9.
I don't think our head of security murdered herself. Jordy will snap.
We're doing it. So you said another roll.
Yep. Perception alertness difficulty 9.
Oh.
Alright, continue.
Love
Oh,
that.
oh,
That's
love.
awesome.
I'm gonna. Quangle looks to Michael and says, "Now, Michael, you must use your abilities to sense in the stone where the stone hound is. Can you do that? Can you find him in the stone?"
He turns his head. I don't understand.
Ah, I see.
Can you
Same as everything.
help us find this? Can you help us find the hound? The one that attacked you?
Slowly nods his head. I think.
Cass
Quangle
is
raises
just
an eyebrow. Like, I said the same thing.
How? So we have 2 gargoyles claiming each attacked the other. And that one of them is the Unbound. But we don't know which one.
I have the answer.
What is
Actually, I'll need to go to my office.
your office?
With that, Mark, I'm gonna try. There's more than one door in the library, right?
That is correct.
I'm gonna move my office to the other door, and then open it.
Alright. You open it and you are in your office.
I'm going to go to the briefcase and that I came back from in the very first scene, and grab the briefcase and pull it along with me, and then walk back into the library, close the door. Then I'm going to move the room to the foyer. So the foyer is now down here. And then open it again.
Alright.
I don't know if that's weird, but you know.
No, you
might
can
be
do
hard
that
to
stuff. You can do that shit.
Cool.
And where did you want the foyer to be removed?
Basically, to the door I just like closed and reopened. The same door.
And
Here would be.
while that's happening, Hasib's still gonna go around the library regardless with the baseball bat and like poke around to make sure there's nobody else in here.
Sure thing. She'll give those
Is
books a
there
good thrashing. Other than that, you don't find anyone. What was your
Is there
question?
a phone in the library?
No. Not in the
Okay.
library. There would be one in the quartermaster's office.
We should probably warn the quartermaster so he doesn't open the door and find himself dusted, as he
Just
were.
for the full page.
We don't know which one is the.
I say that to Mead, and so he says, so he just stays in the room and doesn't open it for any gargoyles.
That I can appreciate.
Are we
With
sure
that-
that it was a?
Okay.
I know that it wasn't this one, but also, are we sure that it was a gargoyle?
We could just have 2 gargoyles. But also, if it was him, he doesn't remember anything, so it could still be him.
I believe when we talked to what did we Kanam, or his he had some kind of name, kind of. He did say that the Unbound was large and had wings, but it's not much more than that. It is if it was telling the truth.
In his description, he described the Unbowed as pretty. I think to that extent, Michael here fits that description. I'm not an investigator by trade. I'm a surgeon. I specialize in the mind and flesh, but here I am.
And I'm not sure if Kandam said that they actually fought them in the Unbowed. Just that the Unbowed had escaped.
Maruna, can you ask Michael how many gargoyles that he's aware of in the chantry?
Michael, are there, besides you and the Hound, are there others like you?
I do
Here.
not know.
All right.
Michael is
Okay.
terribly helpful.
Can you tell us? You said you think you can help us find the Hound. How can we do that?
Places his hand onto the ground. As he does that, we're going to cut over to Geordie as he steps through into the foyer and sees that there is a large hole where the front door would be. It looks as if it's been smashed through by something strong or heavy.
He sneers. His fangs distend a bit. And you probably hear lies from the other room.
Well,
And then you hear from Michael. He is gone.
Good job, Michael.
Thank you.
He nods his head.
thank you, Michael.
You are welcome.
Quagle,
Cass gets
Quagle
up and
will,
walks to the
run-
quartermaster's office.
Quagle's gonna go to see where Jordy is. Yeah.
You would find probably Geordie in the foyer.
Gotcha. I would assume I noticed the hole where the front door was.
Oh yeah,
No.
smashed it.
You also see Jordy putting what looks like a human skull back in his briefcase.
Dear Regent, it would appear that we need to get another work order in for the door.
Has-
I need
Does
this
he-
door boarded up immediately.
As you say that, Geordie, you watch as the pieces of the door begin to shift and float back into shape as the door reforms. Seems the chantry heard you.
Does the door lock? Because if so, he's gonna be so mad at the old regent if the door lock is fine. If all it took was a thought to fix that thing, he's gonna be so mad.
No, the actual front door locked. Like as you go through to the actual front door, that door's just straight open.
Oh,
It's just been knocked.
right.
open.
That's a different door. Okay, that's right.
Yeah. It's a non-magical
Hasib-
door.
Hasib also scrambles out into the foyer, and he's jotting notes down, of course, and he says, "I must insist, Sir Regent, cameras everywhere, especially at the entrance. We need them, please."
Hasib, the regent is thinking, please allow him a moment. He has to find a carpenter or a doorsmith for the front door.
I don't think it's safe for anyone to leave the chantry right now, given that the out of character mark, do we call them Assamites or Banu Hakim?
Assamites. Whatever's the more
Given that-
insulting term.
More insulting, yeah.
You can just call
Given
them
that the
assassins.
Assamites are in town.
Oh, yes. Did you inform everyone of their appearance here, dear Regent?
With what time we had, yes.
I'm going to go change then. Quengo walks up to the quartermaster's office to change.
Meanwhile, we'll cut over to the regular screen, so the map is no longer super important. Kess, you make your way over to the quartermaster's office.
He knocks on the door.
Quick question, Geordie, do you trust Kess?
Yeah, probably. Yep.
The door opens, unlocks, and then opens. Inside, you see the quartermaster, who's currently onto his 5th or 6th cigarette.
The red is gone, and by that I mean it's left the chantry.
That doesn't sound like a good thing.
Well, remember the gargoyle that was in here?
Yup.
That would have been it.
Oh shit.
I owe you another pack of cigarettes.
I dare say you owe me much more than that, but I'll take what I can get.
I'm not an endless supply of things, you know?
Neither am I. The stockpile only goes so far.
He returns the knives that he took. Well, we have a new regent.
Yeah, I've heard.
We should probably start telling people, shouldn't we?
I don't know if that's necessarily true. Start telling
mean,
people
our-
they're gonna be asking questions.
I mean, our people. The ones that
Oh.
don't live in the chantry.
Yeah. Maybe. I'll leave that to the regent. Sounds like it's his problem.
He takes a cigarette out of the quartermaster's box and just is like, alright. And he'll just kind of lean on the table and he chills in there until someone either comes to him or a meeting is called.
Alright. Anything else anyone else want to do?
Marina would probably go to also get out of the bloody clothes. On her way, she'll check the plants and see if they seem to be faring better yet with the new.
Make a intelligence and science.
For the record, had Jordy allowed Quangle to go with the gargoyle, he wouldn't have been able to escape. This is out of character. This is just Cyberbro saying, and just for the record, so we all know the score here in real life.
Or you'd be toast.
Or he'd be ashes. Yeah, one of the two. Yeah.
One of the two, you know. But I'm a glass half full type of fella.
Mm-hmm. With 3 successes, it seems like they're still wilting.
the source of magic, the pyramid, is the issue.
Yep.
All right. She's gonna go to her room, I think, and while she after she changes, oh, I think she would also invite Michael if he wanted to come chill in her room.
He does.
Cool. She's gonna do pull some tarot cards as well. Just
All right.
get some vibes.
As you shuffle the tarot deck, pull out a card. The first card you pull is not a card you have in your deck. It is called the Pyramid, and it is drawn upside down. And as you close your eyes and then look at it once more, it is actually the tower, face up,
That makes sense.
or
Right.
a right way around.
She kind of blinks. Kind of just, yeah, that makes sense. She'll pull another one.
At this point, why don't you make me a... this one's going to be a perception and occult. This will be difficulty 6, but you won't be able to add your aspects to this.
Okay.
As this is not related to your senses. Okay. As you place down your cards, the next card you place down is... There we go. The next card you place down is the Ace of Clubs. Also not in your tarot deck.
Does it shift if I blink, or does it stay?
It seems to still be the Eight of Clubs.
Ace or the 8?
8.
Oh, the 8. Alright. One more. 3 is a magic number.
Next one is the Ace of Clubs.
Okay. I'm gonna look at the rest of my cards. Just
They look like normal cards.
the rest of them look like they're my tarot.
They look like regular tarot
Deck.
cards.
Okay.
You also get the feeling that there's more that it's trying to tell you here. It wants you to keep drawing.
I'll pull another one.
The next one is the Ace of Spades. Do you draw another? The next card is the Eight of Spades. As you look down, you see the pyramid in reverse. And what is known as the Dead Man's Hand. As you look up, you realize you're sitting at a poker table. And all the other members of the chantry, or at least the other 4 that are important to our tale, are sitting around the table as well. I would like to ask you all a quick question, going through all of them. Hasib, do you trust Maruna?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Dr. Quangle, do you trust Maruna?
No.
Kess, do you trust Maruna?
No.
Geordie, do you trust Maruna?
Define trusts.
If it has to be defined, the answer is probably no.
He's suspicious of her,
Okay. So in that case, I'll take that as a no.
but not in relation to anything that's happened here.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Maruna. Each of the others that are at the table have their cards close to their chest. Except for Hasib, whose cards are laid out on the table.
Makes sense.
Hasib's cards is the pyramid, upright. The rest are the same that you have. The dead man's hand. As you look up, you realize that everyone has what looks to be a thin red string or twine that is tied around their necks, leading up behind them. To each of them, you see a figure of shadow grabbing onto that string, pulling it taut. You see for some of them, it tightens around their throat.
Can I see anything about the figures?
As you try to focus in, it's hard to tell exactly who they are. There's only one you can truly make out, and that is the one that stands behind Geordie. That is because it is Geordie. You see a number of other figures, most of which you don't recognize. You then see as one of them begins to pull behind, the rest of them pull in tandem, as if they are all connected as well. And you feel one around your own throat begin to pull tight. You then hear a familiar whisper from behind you. Don't worry, Rune Child. Everything's going to be all right. And as they continue to pull from behind, you see that the red strings around you, your neck, and all the other necks are connected. As one is pulled, they all are. And once they are finally pulled enough, you watch as everyone's head rolls off their shoulders and onto the table below them, as blood fills the card table and then fills your vision. Before you finally snap back, looking down at the tower. Tower in reverse. The King of Swords in reverse. And death. Upright, rather.
Okay. Just gonna put our card deck away. She'll say to Michael, you can stay here as long as you want.
Thank you.
Do you like the name Michael?
It is the only name I have ever had. That I know of. Is it
You
a
can
good
change
name?
It is. It's very classic.
Then I like Michael.
Good. it's important that you like your name.
What is your name?
Maruna. My friends call me Rooney.
Maruna. Rooney. I like Rooney.
Thank you. Thanks. I'll be back.
He nods as he sits down. You hear the creaking of stone as he does. He almost like curls up as his long legs are kind of pressed against his chest.
And she'll head back downstairs to find the others.
Which point, is there any particular scenes that we would like to do, or are you going to gather together for a conversation?
Not necessarily a scene, but I think Dr. Quangle will be back in the library, having changed out of his battle attire. He returns to the library and starts stacking books and just kind of gets back to business as usual.
And also not a scene. Hasib would have stopped by the quartermasters to put in a request for a or set of security cameras if we can get them, Amazon 2-day shipping in,
In 1999?
Yeah, sure. Whatever Amazon, we order it from a catalog book or something. I don't know.
Jesus, you'd have to go to Sears. You.
He has to go shopping, or more like he has to get a
Company
glue to
away.
go shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kess is taking the box full of papers and books that he got from the Regent's office, and he is going to relocate that to his room.
Alright. What is Geordie up to?
I think Jordy is going to go back to whatever phone is not in shattered pieces at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to try and dial the executioner again.
Alright. Dial the number. It rings. For there is someone that picks up on the other side. And who is it that I'm speaking to?
Caius?
And who is this?
Is that you? Jordy.
Ah, Geordie. I hope you are doing well. Things are quite fine over here. You know, aside from the fact that I think I just experienced one of the worst pains of my life. What's happening?
About that. Regent Carr is dead. And I think the elders above him.
I'll be right over. You hear the sound of the phone hanging.
That's all I needed from that scene.
Alright. With that, I imagine you come together in the library. Oh, go ahead.
Well, see, something I completely forgot. Well, he would probably call his sire if we're having a meeting to of the chantry. She's part of the chantry, so.
As you call your sire's number, there is no answer.
He'll call a few more times. She usually doesn't pick up the first time Hasib calls. It's a normal thing. So, but I'm guessing nothing.
No.
Seems a little worried. He jots notes down to take to our meeting because we've been told not to leave, so he can't go visit.
Does Kes have a position right now?
Sure does not.
Yeah. So we're all gathered? Is that the scene right now?
Yeah, you're all gathered in the library, I'd imagine.
Please wipe your shoes off. We had a very bloody day prior to coming into the library. Please.
Oh yeah, Kess has fully changed clothes and out of the blood-soaked. Probably
That's
showered.
Quangle would say that like without looking like he's on a ladder and like just rearranging books into the Dewey Decimal System because it's 1999, which shouldn't be in whatever archaic deal we've got going on.
Yeah, Seb was probably turned away because he did not change at first. Like he is not part of. Didn't really notice that he's still covered in blood, but I'm assuming he got changed now after it was pointed out to him. He's got pretty much the same wardrobe, so it just looks like the same thing but cleaned.
I think coming
Well,
in.
if- Go ahead.
Going into the library, Marina just says, we have a lot of things to discuss.
Indeed, we do. First and foremost, we're going to need that door fixed at the entrance. And we seem to be lacking a head of security, so he looks over to Kes. I believe we have a new head of security.
That doesn't make any sense.
Do you have a better proposal?
Anyone else? I'm not a fighter. I have no knowledge.
If you can keep a door lock, you've done better than our previous head of security.
I couldn't replace the light that was in the regent's office.
Fair enough. Hasib,
That's
you're the
not-
new head of security.
That wasn't your
Oh,
fault.
perfect! Yes, I have so many things.
No!
The light bulb, it had nothing to do with you or your skill set. It's because the magic is gone, because the pyramid has fallen. The magic isn't there. This is just a temporary solution. Don't you see that? Things are going to keep falling apart.
A point of order. Hasib, I truly believe in your abilities to be head of security. However, he has made numerous claims to put cameras around the chantry, and I don't think that works for any of us.
No.
You know, we got to keep the masquerade up. So I disagree with your appointment, Regent. But
But wait. Maruna, how no matter who gets the position, of course, is there a way we can make plans or make, if we are going to jot down the notes of your visions, we need to make actionable plans, right?
Yes, but we need to all start being honest with each other first. I think we're all connected in more ways than we know, and there are forces that are affecting each and every one of us. But the things that we think are our own burdens to bear are not just ours anymore. They impact all of us.
A good point. He'll put the briefcase on the ground again and pull the skull from it. And he'll walk over to Maruna, looking at her in the eyes, and he hands her the skull.
She'll take it carefully. What is this?
He steps back, kind of that look of scrutiny that he's probably given her more than once. He says, "How did you come to know that everything was about to fall apart just before it did.
I saw it.
In a vision?
Yes. More than one. And I could feel it. The plants wilting, the lights not working. All of it. It's, like I said, it's all connected. It's like if you're watching the waves, you see the tide pull back, and you know there's that point when the wave is just going to come crashing back down, and you can almost feel it just the second before it happens. It's like that.
Right. So, Mark, this is the remnant charges of the Bone of Lies.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming, out of character, I'm assuming there's no lie in what was stated.
That would be a
Right.
question. Was anything that Runa said a lie? No.
No.
Is there anything Runa
Yep.
is holding back?
Not regarding this
Okay.
particular question. There are other things that might be, but not regarding this. No, she's
Alright.
trying to be as honest as.
He'll walk back over and extend his hand to take the skull back. This is very well.
Steve raises his hand.
Yeah, Sib,
Oh.
I already have the answer. He's a grave robber, of course. Quingle chuckles.
Well,
Oh,
what is it? What did it do?
It verified your answer. It seems
I
that
mean, you believe me now?
seems I have little choice not to. What Miss Maruna spoke is the truth, and everyone should accept it. With that, he'll put the bone back in the briefcase.
Is that a thing that we just have now? Is it a skull that tells the? Is that something? Does the quartermaster hand these out? Where do we get one?
Out of character, would Cass know what ritual that is?
Intelligence occult difficulty
A
8.
8.
It is clear that things have changed, and our continued collaboration is necessary. So I will endeavor to work better with all of you, keeping with my track record.
2 successes, Cass. You are quite sure that this is probably a ritual that is known as Bone of Lies. It is a ritual that, when cast upon a bone, forces the holder to tell the truth. They cannot
He'll
lie as
kind
long
of-
as they hold it.
He'll kind of lean to his seat and be like, "It's not an item that's given out; it's a ritual."
A rather
Oh.
costly one, and it takes time.
That is okay. Well, that is good to know that we have that in our toolbox, because we're going to need a lot of resources if we didn't do so well on the last test, so we need to do better for a better average, at the end.
The executioner will be here shortly.
The ex. Why?
They are part of our clan.
Right.
It, Sir Regent, I tried to call. I tried to call my sire, Philomena. She's not here very often, but lives nearby. Do I have permission to go check on her and to inform her? I'm not sure if she knows we're having the meeting.
If she hasn't replied, I would accept the likelihood of the worst.
And he blinks, not really knowing what that means. I think she would like to participate in the tests. Maybe she's been busy. I can find her.
I think it is likely, Hasib, that she has met her end. Or is busy elsewhere. But given the fall of the pyramid and our new Asimite friends in town, I think it safest for us to remain as one unit.
Oh, all right. But what if we sent a ghoul in the day? Don't have to worry about the assassins.
That is a good plan. We can see to that. Why don't you organize it?
Of
But
course, yes.
first, if you could fix that lock.
Right, I am. I know a few good locks we could put in there actually. Am I? So am I the head of the securities then?
He looks to Kess and sees what Kess's response is to that.
Tess looks thoroughly annoyed. Tess will make
Well,
eye
yeah.
contact. Sorry.
If Mr. Price is going to pass up on the opportunity, then yes, indeed, you are.
I need you to understand I have no physical ability to defend this place. I can
you
help.
fix a lock?
I can go buy a lock, but the chantry is complicated. I can help with arcane and occult things, but physical defenses, I don't know how well I'd be able to serve.
We have a
You make
gargoyle for
choice
that.
based on
and-
that.
Very well, then my original order stands. Congratulations, Mr. Price.
Twinkle's gonna pat Hasib's shoulder. There, Hasib. Maybe one day.
It's fine. I can remain a magister. I think I'm still new at all of it anyway. Perhaps if security head of security wouldn't mind a few of my suggestions, I have a couple pages I could give you right now. Actually, I have it in my bag.
Later,
That's
Hasib.
And such a conversation does not have to happen inside the library. The acoustics are terrible.
What else?
The perhaps I really enjoyed the time that we spent in Elysium. It was quite magnificent. If it wasn't for the Assamites in their reintroduction into our little society. That is worrying from what I read in the history tomes. So, what are we going to do with our, well, with Adrian out and no longer part of, well, he kind of like waves to the wall. He's watching us, but now we have no primogen in the council.
The primogen will need to be determined. And for that, we need the full clan. At least those we know that are with us still. Within the city. Out of character, Mark, I forget. Is Regent synonymous with Primogen in the Tremere?
It can be, but not necessarily. It is possible
that's
for
what I
someone
thought.
to be. It's not uncommon for a regent to be the primogen, but sometimes it is.
Not necessarily. Perfect. Let's say
Well, I think I don't know how much we can rely on the rest of the clan anymore.
indeed. But we do know that at least one elder is still with us. The executioner, Caius.
I'm sure he can provide sound counsel, but maybe now is the time to be bold. To take this situation by the horns as it is.
Exactly.
I don't know if now's the time to go and overthrow an elder's right to such a role, knowing that they are alive and they're on their way.
You would give the role to Caius.
If he wills it, it is his right.
You're the regent. It's your right.
But he's an elder.
That doesn't make him qualified.
Interesting.
Philomena might have, she is an elder, though she does like her privacy, and I mean, Primogen is kind of out in the open and going to Elysium and such, but we shouldn't discount her if we are considering.
Jordy, who do you want to be Primogen? Barring all rank issues, who is the most qualified?
He hesitates. I don't know the qualifications of the executioner all that well, but he did have permission to exist outside of the chantry, which only
That's not
select
what I
elders
asked.
do.
He's infamous. Even among our kind, he's ruthless. He has no empathy.
Quite. Well, I'm going to say it. I would nominate myself for the role. If you're considering nominations or putting their name in the hat, as it were. I've been here slightly shorter than you, but I think I have a level of sanctity here within the chantry, and, well, I'm diplomatic.
I think Jordy's eyes narrow a little bit at that, right? Because just the way he is. And he says, Very well, if it will come to a vote, then we'll wait for the executioner to arrive.
Yes, yes. But I am okay with whatever decision that you make, Jordy. Remember that.
At this point, the sounds of footsteps can be heard, heading towards the room that you are in currently. It is almost as if they echo throughout the halls. To you, Kess, these steps are unmistakable. You've heard these for most of your own life, and many times in your nightmares. As the doors open, a figure steps through with a charming smile. His fangs bared, unable to be hidden. But his features are handsome, devilishly so. His hair is swept back, a deep, dark black. And his eyes are almost in orange. It's quite odd. If there's any word you would use to describe him, it is unsettling. As he wears his very nice, dark, black suit with a red tie. He steps forward with a grin, looking around, as you all would recognize Caius, the executioner. As he looks around before his eyes finally fall on Kess, and his smirk shifts into a wicked grin. Glad to see it seems you all are doing well. At this point, Maruna, you see a flash in your vision. And you recognize that he is the one that was standing behind Kess, pulling his red string.
She's going to kind of look between the two of them. I think shift slightly towards Kess, almost protectively, and just kind of like subtly keep her eyes on Caius.
Do I notice like the Maruna's fidgeting and like just any of that? Can I roll for that?
You may. Of course, Maruna, you can also just say that the doctor notices. Depends on whether or not you're trying to hide it.
I think she'd be trying to hide it from Caius. So,
Okay.
I don't, like, yeah, not necessarily trying to hide it from the doctor, but in general, she would be
I think
trying
in that
to not
case,
be obvious.
the doctor would notice, mostly because you guys are working together, and also he knows you far better than Caius does.
Yeah.
Welcome, executioner.
It has been quite some time since I've been back, but it is good. Tell me, Jordy, where is the regent? I must speak to him immediately.
I already told you the regent. The regent's dead.
Oh, you were serious?
Are you suffering from what Hasib suffered from by chance?
Wait,
What?
what am I? Wait, Steve says what at the same time.
His eyes fall upon you, Jordy, and they narrow. What is happening exactly?
Our seer emotions, and as far as we all have deduced, it seems that perhaps the pyramid has fallen.
It has.
So the crazed thin blood has said something and you have taken them at their word.
Not their word alone. I use the bone of lies. And we all felt it.
Dear Executioner, I believe Jody forgets that we received a note upon the Regent's death. Jody, I'm sure you can produce said note for the Executioner. I'm referring to the one that says everything is fine, keep calm and carry on, and then in blood under it, everything is not fine. Things are bad. It's bad. It's really bad.
He has that on his clipboard. I'll take the envelope out and hand it to him.
Takes it, opens it up. I see.
He was summoned to a meeting.
Well, it seems we are going into an emergency. Well then. It seems a new regent will have to take his place.
One already has.
His eyes fall on you, Maruna.
And she gestures to Jordy.
Security measures were taken. There was a creature loose. Something called the Unbowed.
The dog. Well, where is it? I'm sure it's still skulking around here somewhere.
It left.
It's escaped.
He freezes for a moment before his attention slowly turns on you, Jordy. And he takes a step forward.
Jordy, all of you probably don't see him do this as much, but he looks nervous. And he kind of tries to straighten up a bit.
What do you mean? It escaped?
In the chaos of the absent regent, it managed to evade our security, first by killing the head of security. I warned her about the damn lock.
Oh, I see that. Why, of course. And just one question, if I might ask you, Jordy. Why aren't you out there searching for it right this moment?
It only just happened.
Shush! Kess. I'm talking.
He's right.
The Assamites have been welcomed into town by the prince.
Yeah, of course. No, it wouldn't be long before that little blue blood decided he wanted some insurance. No matter. Yes.
Sir Executioner, have you seen my sire Philomena? I haven't been able to get through to her on the phone, and these discussions, it would be important to have, everyone of the chantry here.
His eyes turn to you, Jordy. Find it.
We should find it, yes.
Good. Now then, what else is a matter?
Aren't you the hunter?
I am the executioner. But yes, I will be hunting him as well. Don't need to worry your little thin blood neck. Yes!
Sorry, Mr. Executioner. Philomena, my sire, I haven't been able to get through to her on the phone.
Are there any more questions that aren't asinine?
Something between a question and a statement, Dr. Quangle, you are. Good to see you and impeccably dressed as always.
Why, thank
The
you.
role of the role of Primogen is vacant at the moment. At what point, in your experience, should we begin to decide who the next Primogen should be?
Immediately. Especially considering this. As he reaches into his jacket and pulls out a letter. The letter itself has the seal of the Elysium on it. Seems an Elysium has been called.
Yes. Well, Jordy, immediately is immediately. Who's the Primogen?
A second Elysium in one night? What else has happened?
I don't know if it's one night. As he kind of holds out the letter. It hasn't been opened. The seal is still on it.
Should we open it?
That Caius rolls his eyes and opens the letter. Good news. It seems you have 6 nights to prepare. As he chucks the letter at you, Joy.
Struggles to catch it. We discussed perhaps a vote on who should be the Primogen.
A vote. How quaint.
Well, without the pyramid above us, our protocols are not as they should be.
You were a soldier, were you not, Geordie? What do you do in times of war?
You won't resist my position, then?
No. I have far more important things to do. Like taking care of the huge mess you've made. By letting that thing escape.
What exactly is it, and what does it mean for it to be free?
If any other members of the Camarilla were to find out that we still indeed had a gargoyle under our thrall, and one that they believe was destroyed a decade ago, there may be some issues.
Why wasn't it destroyed?
That's a question for the Regent, who, it seems, has taken that to his grave.
There must be reports on the Unbowed, right? If it's been hosted here for so long.
Miranda's gonna stand up and just say, well, if it's really as dangerous as you said, and if it's as big as a risk to all of us, then we shouldn't waste any more time.
No, you shouldn't.
Quangle
How dangerous is this thing exactly? What are we up against?
not your average gargoyle. They are dangerous enough that it took me and the Regent to take it down. But that was about a decade ago. Perhaps its strength has grown or waned. Whichever, it needs to be found and returned to its cell.
Of course. We'll get on it. The other gargoyle, the one with the fair features, is it trustworthy? Can we use it for this hunt?
Use whatever tools you like. Doesn't concern me.
Very well.
Good.
Well then, it seems we have a hunt to look after.
I have some other matters I must attend to. But know, if I complete my matters and have to do your job for you, we might have to rediscuss this little regentship. Am I clear?
Of course.
Good, good. Well then, till next time. Kess. He chuckles as he steps out of the room, leaving for the hallway, opening another door and disappearing into the chantry.
So then, Jordy, I believe I'm Primogen, based on the exchange.
I don't think that's quite how it works, Dr. Quingle. I believe his suggestion is that I'm to remain both regent and primogen.
Sensational.
Cass gets up and leaves.
Maruna's gonna kind of get up, look for a minute, like she's considering following him, but decide. Well, I'm assuming probably without, if I need to, I'll roll an empathy, but I'm assuming that Kess is very much the vibe of I need to be alone.
Yeah, don't follow me. Yeah,
Yeah.
every minute of every single day. Don't follow me. Don't come near me. His constant vibe.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she'll consider it, but then she'll sit back down. Alright, so what's the most efficient way to search the city?
I'll look through the. Is it reasonable to assume that there is a, at least within the last 100 years, a map of the city in the library?
It would be.
Okay. Follow me. I have a map. You see, the difference between a chart and a map is a chart is for water, and a map is. Quinn was explaining that as he's bringing up the map.
I think with that, we're going to cut over to Kess. See what Kess is up to.
Cass is walking to the door of the chantry.
Alright.
And once he gets there, he's just going to make sure that he wasn't followed.
Mm-hmm.
And if he wasn't, he's going to leave.
Alright. See Kess enter off into the night as the rest of you gather around the map. It is at this point we're going to end the session here for today.
Just have to search the skies, get a helicopter, you know. We got that in the warehouse.
Helicopter, yeah.
I hear
Yeah,
those are really easy to catch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Totally.
Should be fine.
real easy. Easy to find as
It's
well.
fine. We got it. We got it.
All right then. With that, let's do some outros, shall we? Why don't we start off with uh let's start off with Dr. Quangle. Cybro, why don't you give us your outro?
All right. I've been Cybero. So my role tonight was Dr. Quinkle, and wheels are in motion. Wheels are in motion.
Very nice. Up next, Hasib. Zach, why don't you give us your outro?
It's a CB boy. I'm Zach, and I've had a blast playing Hasib, stumbling his way through all of these interactions. Um, yeah, you'll see me here and there through other things, other projects of Bob's and well Mark's and others. But yeah, I don't know. I wrote too many notes. Now I'm gonna have to write notes for my notes, which sounds like a very Hasib thing.
It's very true. All right, up next, Maruna. Ree, why don't you give us your outro?
Hey everyone, I'm Ree. Played Maruna today. Had lots of fun deciphering the fun visions. That's one of my favorite things. You can come as well check me out with Mortal Rolls on Mondays. We are actually also dealing with vampires there. It's a Pathfinder 2e homebrew game. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, excited for that and excited for next week to continue this story. I cannot wait to see what happens. Oh, and also I'm so happy I made a new friend.
Yay, new
Gargoyle.
friends.
Michael.
Yeah.
Michael.
Michael.
Yeah.
We could have picked any cool name in the world, and it's like
Michael.
Michael. All right. Well,
All right. Up next, Kess. Emily, why don't you give us your outro?
I'm Emily. I played Kess, and things are happening. Things and stuff and stuff and stuff and things are happening. I don't have any plug stuff. I'm gonna leave that to Bob.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Geordie, Bob, give us your outro.
Hey everyone, taking time, Bob. We do a whole bunch of Pendragon over on my stream, so if you want to see more of these guys outside of the two games that Mark is running here right now, feel free to pop by and join the Discord and say hello. Just check out our previous library on YouTube, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna add today.
All right. Cool. I'll also do a shout out to Different Time Bomb. As well, I will say hello. My name is Mark, aka the CatsMeow, and this is my channel. I hope you've enjoyed the episode so far. I hope you check out more of my content, such as the last 2 episodes of House of Tremere. I'm also at the final stages, the final two last episodes of my other series, Isle of the Damned. Next week will be our penultimate episode for that series, so check it out. That one is you can find the VODs on here. You can also find them on my YouTube channel, which you may or may not be watching this at. Which, if you want to find a link and you're currently in the chat, do !YouTube, and it should give you a link to the channel. Other than that, I would like to give a big thank you to our dear Ree, who has lovingly created the beautiful art for all our characters, as well as this wonderful overlay that you can see now. So I'd like everyone to give a big thank you to Ree for all this lovely work, and also check out her art stuff. I assume
If
there's. Go on.
yeah, that's I'm gonna make an art Instagram, like everyone's been telling me to for forever. uh but I If people also, if the audience is interested in seeing art of particular NPCs, that's something that I might do. I have a feeling based on the response in the chat today, I know which NPC the chat wants to see. But, you know, let me know. I'll keep it in mind.
Very nice. Once again, thank you very much. Thank you to all my lovely players for joining me today and volunteering for this chaotic game of playing the authoritarian vampires that are also mages. I think with that, how many people do we have? 'Cause I think we might raid out.
Dork Tales is up doing Vampire the Masquerade if you want to raid them.
All right. We shall look at raiding them. Until then, please do your best to keep our viewers entertained while I try and find something.
The chat seems to have an overwhelming resonating response.
To the
We need-
artwork.
We need
Oh
it.
my god.
Executioner, but it has an S in front of it. If that makes it. Oh. Oh.
Who could I blame for
Wait.
that?
This
Who could have
execution.
possibly started that nickname
Wait.
that I can blame
Yeah.
them for?
All right. With
We
that,
just-
we are going to be. Oh, go ahead. Which
No,
we're
go
gonna-
ahead.
All right, we're gonna be ready out in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Not Bob